When the dissolution of your identity begins to occur, you come across a group of texts known as the Nididhyasana texts. Now, these texts are for those who are on the cusp of enlightenment or have gone beyond the pale of enlightenment. And one of the greatest Nididhyasana texts is the Ashtavakra Gita. Now, there's a verse in this text that talks about how the truth here meaning the knowledge of Brahman, the ultimate reality, the realization that the Atman, the undifferentiated consciousness within you and me, is identical with the Brahman, right? So anyone who comes across this truth, this is the ultimate truth of existence, right? Vedanta itself is one of the oldest perennial philosophies in the world, if not the oldest. And no matter who you are, when you understand this and it plunges your mind into the undifferentiated consciousness, where you marinate your mind in that and the dissolution of your identity begins to occur, it doesn't matter what profession you come from, because it has the same effect on all of us. And the verse that I'll read to you today points to that fact. This knowledge of the truth makes an eloquent, wise, and active person mute, inert, and inactive. Therefore, it is shunned by those who want to enjoy the world. So even the most brilliant person you can think of, when the truth dawns on them, they will come to a deep silence. And that is the silence of the Atman. What Ramana Maharshi used to talk about where I am right now in Tiruvannamalai at the foot of Arunachala. And so Ramana would speak to his devotees about this deep silence, who has come in contact with this deep silence from abiding in the Atman. And so when we all come across this truth, then no matter who we are, as Ashtavakra says, then we will completely be transformed and the identity will completely dissolve. And this is just the nature of existence itself for a human being. And so no matter how eloquent, wise, smart you think you are, or how intelligent or clever, once you begin to understand this true knowledge, then your mind will naturally fall silent. It's just the way it is. That's the silence that, as I said, Ramana Maharshi felt at 16 years of age, and what most of us feel in our sincere journey on the spiritual path as we continue to cultivate ourselves along the path. But Ashtavakra actually also says that it's shunned by those who want to enjoy the world. Now, obviously you'll get a lot of naysayers with anything that you do or anything that you say, right? And so a lot of people will look at the deepest knowledge, and if they can't understand it, then they'll either undermine it, they'll try and tear you down, or in general, they will just avoid it. As it says here, it's shunned by those who choose to enjoy the world. Now, why Ashtavakra says that is because it's impossible for someone who abides in the Atman to enjoy the world. Again, the enjoyer of the world is the jiva, is the identity, is the ego. Now, that's not to say that the self-realized person doesn't enjoy a cup of tea or a pizza or this and that. Things of the frivolous nature, right? Obviously, they continue to just live their life, but they're inwardly transformed. But the one who shuns the knowledge are actively living in their jiva, and they depend on these sensory experiences for their enjoyment in life. They believe this is what makes them happy, but it ultimately doesn't make them happy. And so we become like a pleasure drug addict, where we go from one pleasurable experience to the next. And then we wonder why we are never satisfied, why we never have our fill. And so the one who understands or abides in the Atman is always fulfilled. And so they don't need worldly pleasures. So the mentality of one who is a knower of the Atman is diametrically opposed to one who is a worldly person, one who depends on sensory experiences. But as Ashtavakra says, no matter who it is, even those who are the most addicted to sensory experiences, once they understand the truth that Atman is Brahman, then they will begin to distance themselves from becoming a sensory addict. And they will begin to build a distance from worldliness. Now, this is where vairagya is very important in spiritual practice, which is basically renunciation but it means dispassion towards the world. So you're not invested in the world anymore because you understand that the dualistic aspect of the world is actually an illusion, which is decoded through the Maya within your mind, through your conditioning and your socialization process of what is right and wrong, good and bad. And all of our programs, our Maya programs, are different. And so who is right? Are you right? Am I right? So that's the point here that Ashtavakra is making. It's that neither of us are right because the true nature of reality is Brahman. It's actually one, but we believe it's two. And so then we create all the conflict in the world that we see. And so no matter who you are, whoever's watching this right now, no matter who you are, no matter what profession you come from, no matter how high your IQ is as opposed to how low your IQ is, once you understand the truth, then you'll be completely free in this life. And that's what Ashtavakra is guaranteeing and promising all of us within this great Nididhyasana text. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.